Good evening and welcome to the inaugural show of the HOWZAT program. I'm Sean Devers and with me,
I'm Brandon Corlett.
Jemima Holmes.
Michelangelo Jacobus.
And Timothy Jacaran.
yes, this is a good opportunity to get the public in Guyana and overseas involved in cricket.
Yes, because cricket is the major sport in Guyana. Jemima, what do you think about this show?
I feel like a lot of times, especially with local and regional tournaments, we don't have enough updates and people aren't always aware. So I'm happy that we now have this platform to really share and keep the public up to date on what's going on.
Definitely. And this program is not just about cricket news and views. Of course, we'll interact with the audience. And Timothy, I'm quite sure you know that there are fans out there that are going to have opinions on the game. And we'll give them an opportunity to discuss those opinions.
Yeah, it's very important for the fans to discuss and share their opinions because, the main purpose of this show is for the fans, for them to stay into the loop. So now you don't have to complain to the four walls alone.
Yeah, and in the next segment, we'll be looking at local, regional, and international cricket and bringing you right up to date with everything that's going on presently.
Yeah, a lot of cricket being played, Sean. The regional, the intercounty just concluded. Women's and male cricket being played all around the region. And after COVID, now we have all the cricketers in different territories playing. So that's good for cricket.
It's going to be a whole lot to get up to date with.
Yeah, definitely. And, I personally can't wait to delve into the local cricket scene because most of the information that is disseminated are through the media and you don't get everything. But here on this show, we'll be examining the finer details of the game.
Yeah, there's the international cricket that's going on as well. And we have a lot of fans that love international cricket. Personally, for me, I love the international cricket and I like to find the players that nobody knows about, that you can't find stats on them. So I do my own little investigation there, digging here and there and finding all these things. So, we're going to have that as well. So that's going to bring a whole new limelight to the show
And
itself.
this is not going to be only cricket on the field. We'll have what's happening off the field, like Clive Lloyd endorsing the president, Irfan Ali. He's going to be the chairman and the subcommittee of CARICOM, taking over from Prime Minister Rowley on the cricket committee. So much more we can talk about.
And what we can assure you, the fans, that this show, we will highlight all the problems happening in Guyana and West Indies cricket. But the difference is, we have all the solutions right here.
Well, I'm not quite sure we'll have all the solutions, but we will certainly try to, come up with a fix for whatever issue we're discussing.
So that's HOWZAT. And of course, we'd like to take some time to thank Edward Baby Harry and Company for not only importing and distributing the Pulse Energy drink, but for also sponsoring this show.
Yeah.
If you need a kick, if you need a pep in your step, you can check out Pulse Energy
Definitely
drink
nicely.
and you'll get what you need.
And I'll encourage your audience to try it because me personally, I'm not really a energy drink type of person, but this, it certainly gave me some energy for this show here.
Yeah.
Just to give you a reminder that we're recording live from Guyana.
And I want to say thanks to Clifford Bacchus, my good friend, and the entire staff at Sleeping for allowing us to do the filming here.
We will have a quick commercial break.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Welcome to Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We offer fine dining, a sports bar, dancing, and special events. Come and enjoy a great Caribbean meal or sit and enjoy the games. Watch for our upcoming special events and live shows. Hibiscus, where you can have a wonderful time with family and friends. We are located at 8344 West Oakland Park Boulevard, Sunrise, Florida. Come out today and enjoy our wonderful atmosphere. Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We are your entertainment center in Sunrise, Florida.
Well, welcome back to HOWZAT. We're going to talk now about the Intercounty Under 15 tournament just concluded. We saw Berbice defending a small total and winning against Demerara in the final round. Not the final because Essequibo also beat the Select and they finished runner-up.
I must commend Essequibo, being an Essequibian by birth. Yeah, so recently Essequibo's on the 50, well, they're on the age teams have been putting in commendable performances because, to be quite frank, in years gone by, their participation at the intercounty level was seen as, just making up numbers, but they're actually here to compete, and for them to get second is, it's very commendable.
There are no pushovers anymore, Sean.
And you would want to boast about your team's win.
Well, of
They've
course.
won since
Give it a few minutes to that.
2022 though.
Well, of course, you have to give credit where it's due. Barbies played good cricket and they deserve to be champions.
I agree with you.
Yes. So let's give them the flowers.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
they were led by Richard Ramdial with the bat and with the ball. He ended up with the second most wickets to Latif and the left arm spinner Joshua Thomas. He played for the Select 11. It is a long time we've not seen the left arm
Chinaman, right. That's good. That's good for
And
Guyana
I
cricket.
hope that they stick with him.
Of course.
And
Invest
develop
in him.
him. Yeah.
Invest in him.
Definitely. What about you've seen Fredericks from Essequibo? He put in some commendable performances.
Yes.
But not, speaking of standout performers, you also had Shahid Ramzan. He's the son of a colleague of ours,
Yeah.
Avinash Ramzan. And he finished second in the run scoring charts as well.
Yeah, only Brandon Henry, the former under 13 captain, who's picked more for his spin bowling. He finished with the most runs, 92. And of course, we've had a lot of good performers. The fast bowlers also showed their worth in that tournament.
We know in recent years, spin has dominated these kinds of competitions. And I personally would like to see a bit more in the fast bowling department.
I agree with you because at the regional level, there are fast bowling points on offer for teams. So it's good to develop those young fast bowlers and mold them at an early age.
And not just for that reason too. I feel like a lot of Guyana's cricket is more focused on spin bowling. Most of the bowlers that people could call right off the bat, their favorites, it's always the Kodikesh Motis, the Virasamy Permals. You always get spin bowling and you don't really get much focus on fast bowlers. And I'm not talking just pacers, medium pace. I'm talking pure fast bowling. And it's very good to see that they're coming into the limelight. And I hope that in the next few years we could really cultivate a good group of pure pace bowlers.
And talking about your hometown, most of the recent fast bowlers
Yes.
have come from Berbice. Shamar Joseph.
Bowler.
Yes. General.
Yeah.
I think it's a fast bowling factory we have there in Borby.
Only time I love it. Who played for Essequibo,
Yes,
but
yes.
he's really from GCC, lives in Georgetown. He
Bright
was the
prospect.
only one that was not a Barbician that made the team.
Bright prospect, Cardio Sullivan. Yeah. I agree with you, Sean.
Give us the keys to the factory, that would be so nice.
Safely tucked in here.
I really love fast bowling and pure fast bowling. As you said, I'm medium pace. I'm a medium pace, so I don't consider myself
So medium.
medium fast in my younger
Oh, okay.
I'm medium slow. But it's good to see that our fast bowlers are really putting in the work, and I hope and pray that they are nurtured correctly and they are developed correctly, because I still believe that an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old or a 19-year-old can make his West Indies debut
Of course.
as a fast bowler, make it to the Harvey Eagles even early, and just tear away at everyone. I still have that hope, because I see certain countries are the fast bowlers, they're pushing them. You see that they're coming up at these young ages, and I pray and hope that we can do that in Guyana as well, so we can have somebody from, I don't want to say Barbies alone, but we can have the option, the three counties,
Yes.
and that they can go and they can impress and represent Guyana on that national stage.
And piggybacking off of what Timothy just said, that's one of the reasons why I believe that Isaiah Torn, regardless of, you say he can't fit into this spot, you're curating a 13-member team. But that's one of the reasons I believe that he should be kept in that Guyana Harvey Eagles squad.
Yes.
Regardless of if he's in this 13-member squad, he should be traveling with them. He should be bowling to the team in the nets. And, really developing his craft because we don't have young fast bowlers. I believe for what Timothy said, having teenagers like 18, 19, 20, having them in national teams across all sports, that is the prime of your sporting career. You should be in national teams at that age. We see Quena Mpapa from South Africa. It has been a revelation for South Africa. And in the Caribbean, I don't want to say Guyana alone, in the Caribbean, we don't really have, the last teenager we had on the international stage for fast bowling was Jaden Seals.
Yes.
We haven't seen anybody else after him. Torn came the closest playing for Guyana on the regional level. But this is what we need. We need to cultivate them at a very young age because with fast bowling, the older they get is the better they get. James Anderson, Mitchell Stark, come on.
Aging like fine wine, those guys.
Sean, I was telling someone last year, and we were talking about Isaiah Thorne. I said, okay, we have learned and we know that he's a future prospect for the West Indies. My thing is just don't have him there waiting for a chance. Take him wherever you go. You have a test match, of course, he's not going to play, but he's going to get the experience as a net bowler. You have anything, take him. He should always be a part of that squad there when he's bowling in the nets because that's how he's gaining his experience at the same time. But when you have him there, and then as soon as something comes up, then he said, oh, come and have a game. Come and play, and then you start the training. I believe that training, and more training.
Right.
I'm sure that when the team comes back from Jamaica, he'll be back in the squad. He was left out of the squad because of a toe injury. When they first played, he and Niall Smith, another Barbadian, opened the bowling. I think Niall Smith has to work on his no ball problems.
It's been an issue, but with time on his side, he's fairly young. I think he needs to learn more. He was this close to a West Indies team, right? He had a memorable debut in first class cricket. So we would want to see him move forward and not just stay there because age on his side, he needs to work and keep going forward.
And what can be done to make those things happen?
Fast bowling clinics, consistent training. Back in the days, those guys never used to go to the gym. The Michael Hollins, the Ambrose, the Walsh, those guys swim, those guys run. And that's important for fast bowlers.
Yeah, Colin Croft used to run around the airport. He was an aeronautics controller, and then later on he became a commercial pilot. And he used to run around the airport when he was working at the Temeri Jagan International Airport. They run and run. Early in the morning.
So Sean, would you say that these training regimens and these clinics, they have to be a bit tougher on our fast bowlers as they were?
The unorthodox ones.
ones.
As back in the day, how it was done?
Yes, I believe so. You've got to be fit. If you're not fit, two things happen. You lose concentration as in the batting, and you get poor shot selections and you out yourself. And if you're bowling, you've got to be fit as a fast bowler especially.
There's the ongoing regional Fury championship, and Guyana has started their defense of, I like to call it our competition. We own this regional Fury Cup.
Definitely.
Yes, 7 titles in the last 9 tournaments.
Yes, and we're going for an 8th one here.
Yeah, and 13 in all since 1966.
And of course, Sean, you were a commentator there, and you cover the games. I've been there with you, and we've both seen a bit of a roller coaster of a performance in terms of the first 3 rounds from Guyana. There are definitely areas that they can improve on, but they've also shown at times that they have that championship pedigree, where when their backs are against the wall, somebody stands up. And if you could highlight some of the more impressive performances individually.
Well, of course, Pomal, who is the leading wicket taker.
652 wickets.
Yes, and 574 in regional cricket. He's played 147 matches, and his best is 15 for 77 match figures. And incidentally, they go now to Jamaica. The last time they went to Jamaica was 2022 when they played at Trelawney. That's where he got his match figures. 8 for 18 in the first inning, and ended up with 15
in the
wickets
match.
for 77 runs.
Yeah.
So he will relish the opportunity. It's not going to be Trelawney now, it's going to be Sabina Park. The last time they went to Sabina Park was 2019. And unfortunately then, Guyana lost the match to Jamaica. But they are now sitting at the top of the points table with 5.6 points. Trinidad second, Leeward's third, Barbados fourth, Jamaica. They're on 32.6. That's our next match. Starting on the
5th of March.
that's today.
Today.
That's the night. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. And also we've had 2 centurions, Anderson and Imlach. And of course, Safely got 99.
That was heartbreaking. That was
But
heartbreaking.
we guys should really talk about the captain, Tevin Imlach.
Yes.
What a player.
Yes, and I'm very impressed with the way he kept also in Pakistan.
You and the entire world, I believe. I was looking at a live stream of that game, and the comments were crazy. I don't want to come down on any other player, but the way people were comparing him with the regular West Indies keeper and saying, hey, even if this guy isn't going to bat exceptionally well for his first few games, he needs to be in the setup keeping. And I truly believe that, not just because I'm Guyanese, but Imlach looked very good. Some silly catches that were dropped by the previous keeper, Imlach has been able to hold on to them, and it was so refreshing.
Yeah, wonderful keeping in Pakistan. And also, what I was impressed with is when he came back to a low level, he got 100.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. If you're at the international level, right? And you come back home to a domestic competition, a regional competition, you're supposed to assert your authority as an international player.
That's correct.
And that's exactly what he did.
Exactly.
But, one second, Timothy, So, the other player that I'm looking at and I think has a potential to become a genuine all-rounder is Godikesh Moti. Moti got 52 in the last game.
Let's not pressure him too much.
We're not pressure him. I enjoy
He has a first-class century.
Yes, he has a first class. I
that was
enjoy
against
seeing him,
Barbados,
but he's not afraid to play shots.
To me, it's like he has an alter ego when he's in these pressure situations. We know he can bowl and we know he can bowl well. But when Moti's back is against the wall and he has to bat, it's like you see you're not seeing a bowler bat. This is not a tail ender. You're seeing a capable batsman put together an innings. And I watched Moti bat in that last game for the Harpy Eagles. I literally sat down, I was taking pictures, like, I'm supposed to leave, go back to work. And I'm just there, just enthralled by Moti batting because he was just a completely different player in that moment.
Slowly becoming an entertainer,
Yeah, and that's the thing. He has done it locally, he has done it regionally, and we've seen him put in some good shifts for West Indies as well.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they were looking for a spinner.
When we talk about batting down the order, Ronaldo Ali Mohammed.
Oh, yes.
I had two crazy.
Revelation.
77. And he's picked as a bowling all-rounder, but I feel he's a batting all-rounder.
Swings the ball really good.
Sean, as we were talking about Moti, I like the way Moti bat. Yes, we know Moti has runs on his belt, but what is the West Indies cricket really looking for? I mean, why I asked this question. Do we want a spin bowler? Do you want a genuine all-rounder? Do you want a bowling all-rounder? Do you want a batting all-rounder? Which one? Because if you look at Steve Smith started his career as a bowler. Look at him now. So do you want Moti to go along that path there and maybe next 5 years he's the number one batsman in the world, or you want him to see him as the number one spinner or all-rounder? So it's kind of a...
Well, I would prefer to see him as the number one spinner who can bat.
Yes, definitely.
I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, I think the same too. I love the way that Moti bowls. His control, remember Moti started from a very young age. And
he used to bowl Chinaman Googlies when he was on the 15.
On the 15. Yeah.
I remember Jemima was talking about Imlach earlier. And I remember that game and I was watching it and I was really happy with the way he performed and how he kept. And the other keeper, I don't want to call his name, but I was arguing with the television. I looked at the heavens many times and I said, my father. I mean, this guy, no name, this guy has had time to prove himself, and you can predict scores and it's either it's that score or less. But I think it's Imlach's moment. Give him.
But in fairness to him, he came back, got 100 in the first innings.
Rather selfishly, though, if we're
100
talking
in the
about
second
that,
inning.
Twin
rather
centuries, yes.
selfishly. That entire innings was so selfish to me because you already have 100 in the first innings. Your team makes 500 and something runs. You don't expect the opposition to make 400 and something. They really cut down that deficit. And instead of you going for a result on the 4-day, you go for a century. That is so selfish as a captain.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get your century, I'm declaring.
Yeah.
At 5 o'clock, when
Oh
the game
my
is finishing at
goodness.
5:30, that was
Oh my
crazy to
I
me.
think he just wanted to
I think
join the
it was
other
a point
12 who got twin centuries
Yes.
in one match. Last year, Mikel Louis got
Yeah.
that against Guyana and he progressed to the West Indies team. In fact, Roy Fredericks was the first person to ever do that. They get two centuries in the same match. And Devon Smith has done it 3 times. He's really a
The regional bully.
I cannot agree with that. But now that we're, you spoke about Michael Louis, and he's an opener. Just to touch on our openers on the Guyana Harpy.
I thought you were talking about the West Indies
No,
openers.
I'm going back to home. Back to home. Let's start at home first, right? The openers of the Guyana Harpy Eagles. We have Matthew Nandu and Tejan Ryan Chanjapal. They're now both mainstays for the national team. Nandu had an excellent debut, Sean. I'm sure you would agree.
Yeah, he got 100.
Yes. For those of you who may not know, that there's the point system in the regional 4-day competition now, and teams are awarded points for their opening partnerships.
In 10 overs.
Yes, in 10 overs, if you can get 60 runs without losing a wicket, you get additional bonus points. And truly for me, that is a sore issue because Nando's strike rate is atrocious.
Brandon has a stat.
47.
It's not an attack on Nandu, right?
Come
But at this level, you're supposed to be going on a bit more than that. I mean, 37. How much is it?
47
It's
in
hard
this
to-
day and age.
And his average is 23.
Yes.
My goodness.
After his first century in
Antigua, yes.
So, all right, we have established that scoring rate is unacceptable.
Well, I would like to see they've got good technique. They can bat.
Yeah, they can bat. No
Especially
argument.
Tage. He plays the ball well, good power, good timing, but he hits it straight to the fielder. He doesn't find the gap. I had a long conversation with him in Trinidad, and I told him, Brian Lara told me that he never looked at the fielders. He looked at the gaps. So instinctively,
You're looking for the
Yeah.
gaps.
play the ball where you see. And so he says he's going to do that. But he did it in the last match, and then he got back to his old.
Yeah, when you see the thing is right when you're accustomed, when you've grown up like he did
Yes.
under the tutelage of the great Chimney
And a lot of pressure
his
also.
grandfather, that has been ingrained into him. So now the onus is on him to tweak his game to move up to scoring.
And he can do that at close.
Yeah, we've
We've
seen
seen
it.
him
We've seen it.
Play the attacking shots.
I don't think we should pressure Tage too much. Reason being, you remember when Darren Bravo first
Oh
came,
my goodness.
everyone was like, "Oh, Brian Lara."
Oh, the next-
And where is Darren now?
Where is Darren today,
So
right.
you don't want to do that. Let him. He's young.
Yeah.
Develop, and after a while,
There's always room for
yeah,
improvement, right?
Constant change is hard. First, he might say, okay, pick in the gaps, and we look at the gaps, but then he's realizing that it's going to the fielder, so he might say, let me just switch back to doing what I do. But in time.
I think that Matthew Nandu and Teach, they're two like batsmen. That means they're in a similar
They
mode.
bat
And
cautious.
I really like a contrast at the top.
They need a
And,
more aggressive option.
good. And Raymond Perez, for me, he can improve, but he should be opening there with one of those guys.
The last game, I saw how Perez got out both times.
Yeah.
It was very similar. The ball just knocks off his off stump, right? Chip it off. And Perez is playing a lousy shot. He can bat and he looks good, but Perez, he needs to work on his shot selection. I think at some point they need to look at if they want Perez to come in and get the team to that 60 without loss, and then he could do whatever he needs
Play
to
his
do
normal
after.
game.
Exactly, but they need to get there quicker.
Yeah.
They need to do something about that partnership.
Let's
Right.
not forget, guys, there's a GCA on the 17th New Year Scorpion Plate in Guyana, Sean.
Yes, and that tournament is dominated by one Shamar Apple.
Yeah.
He's a ripe
Yeah.
apple now. And he got 2 centuries so far and a half century in his 3 matches.
I always admire left-handed batsmen and aggressive left-handed batsmen. And Shamar Apple is exactly that. I'm impressed by him. I went to the last transport game, and you know, this guy played some shots that I haven't seen in a while. He got down on one knee to pull across the line, and when he connected, what a 6 it was. Sean, you know, it's a 100 overs format, and for those of you who are looking, you might not quite know what the 100 overs format is about. Sean, can you tell us about it?
Yes, you bat 55 overs if you're batting first, and if you're dismissed before that, the additional overs to make up 100, the second team that bats gets those overs. And if you are dismissed, then you should go on, because it's really a 2 innings match in a 1-day scenario. And so you get bowling points, you get batting points. And that's what's a lot of innovations now with the point system, which some I agree with, some I don't agree with.
Yeah, definitely.
Most I agree with.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for cricket.
Yeah.
Change is good.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, the female cricketers are in St. Kitts.
Yeah.
And they actually lost the first match, rebounded with a strong win against the defending champions, Jamaica.
Yeah.
And then they beat the Leewards.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Convincingly.
So that's good. I was happy with the promising talent, Raeliana Grimmond.
Yes,
Canada.
Yeah. She's had an all-round performance, to be honest. You know, she has been on the periphery for quite some time, and to see her translate that local form to the regional level, it's heartening.
I'm glad she proved herself though, because I think the most recent women's under 19 World Cup, I feel like she was snubbed. That's just me. I feel like she was snubbed from that team, and I'm glad she's proving herself now to say, hey, this is what y'all were missing out on, because West Indies did not have the best of campaigns in that tournament.
That's true.
Great talent, but we must also touch Shemaine Campbell, leading from the front as
Wonderful
captain.
stuff.
She's been playing for forever.
A lot of people are always questioning.
She's ageless.
A lot of people are always saying,
She
you know,
is fit.
Shemaine Campbell is sitting down on this wicketkeeper batsman position in the West Indies women's team, but she's proving why she falls onto that position.
Yes,
Remember.
and she's a very good keeper also.
And
Good
this
glove work.
is the yardstick. The regional women's tournament is the yardstick for West Indies selection. So
Yeah.
if you're dominating there, you must be
Yeah,
selected.
definitely.
Yeah, but she's part of the West Indies team, a senior part now.
Of course, the vice captain.
Vice captain.
And Mandy Mandu, who is batting a little bit too slowly, is also a good batter. Good
Yeah.
technique.
Solid.
And I notice now that she's given up bowling off spin, which she was a very good, useful off spinner.
Yeah.
And now she wants to be a keeper.
Yeah. So, in addition to the regional and the local cricket, we have international cricket going.
Yeah,
on.
definitely.
The Champions Trophy.
Let me be straight with you guys here, right? At first, I wanted no part of the Champions Trophy because my team is not there.
I still feel like it's
Still, I'm
boring though.
disappointed.
I know.
I still feel like
Who's
it's
their team,
boring.
Michelangelo?
West Indies. I'm a West Indies fan first and foremost, right? I've been listening to cricket since I was about 4 years old, and to see them miss out on the
That's
Champions
not too
Trophy.
long ago. Though.
That's 28 years ago, Sean.
Oh
I'm
my.
no longer a spring chicken. Yeah, so you know, the Champions Trophy, we had some good games. Afghanistan though, you know.
Broke my heart to see them
that's
get knocked
really-
out.
that's
Really,
my
really
team.
campaign,
Broke my heart.
but, I think India are on course to win.
You think so?
I think so. Everything is in India's favor. They're
Yup.
playing in Dubai.
And let's not talk about the politics behind this, but I feel like India's a team that I support wholeheartedly. Everybody at this table knows that I have a player in the Indian team,
Hey,
and
Lord.
that's where my
who's your
support
player?
goes after West Indies. That's not the topic at hand, Michelangelo. What I want to say is that India has claimed politics and put themselves in a position where everything's in their favor. They don't
It is
have to
unfair.
travel.
It is very unfair.
They
Very
are
unfair.
accustomed to the conditions by now because they're playing in the same conditions. And you're disenfranchising every other team in the tournament because everybody got to travel to you to play you and then go back. Now, best they play in India?
My pick for the Champions Trophy is Australia. After West Indies, I go with Australia.
No, Australia can't win nothing else.
Why?
No, they're too much.
He said
They're winning too
Too
much.
much. Give somebody else a chance. South Africa.
Well,
The chokers.
Oh my goodness. Guys, we're running out of time. We have to take a quick commercial.
a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
And don't forget, we're filming live from beautiful Guyana.
Welcome to Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We offer fine dining, a sports bar, dancing, and special events. Come and enjoy a great Caribbean meal or sit and enjoy the games. Watch for our upcoming special events and live shows. Hibiscus, where you can have a wonderful time with family and friends. We are located at 8344 West Oakland Park Boulevard, Sunrise, Florida. Come out today and enjoy our wonderful atmosphere. Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We are your entertainment center in Sunrise, Florida.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Welcome back to HOWZAT, the show where we keep you informed, and this show is for you, the fans. Another topic for discussion is the scoring issue in Guyana, Sean.
Yeah, that's a problematic issue because you see oftentimes scorers don't turn up, especially to the cricket board organized matches, be it the Demerara Cricket Board,
GCA.
the Guyana Cricket Board. Well, the GCA has the act. They're the only association that scores with an app
In Guyana.
in
Yes.
Guyana. And I think they wanted to sell the GCB, the app, or something like that, but that never came true. But there's a reminding you, the 9th of March, there's going to be a seminar, a scoring seminar. That's the Georgetown Cricket Umpires and Scorers Association in collaboration with FL Sports. The facilitators is going to be, they are going to be Dr. McGarrell and John Ramsing,
Yes.
and sanctioned by the Guyana Cricket Board. And when that finishes, you're going to be accredited to sports.
As a level 1 scorer.
Sounds like a step in the right direction.
But Sean, do you believe that more personnel is what they need, or we need some technological advancement?
Both. We need more personnel to man the technological advancements, because you've still got to score on your laptop or your phone. So we need more scorers, and that's the whole aim of this seminar. Bringing in more scorers. It's been advertised, not as much as we would like, but it's been advertised.
But I like the fact that they were approaching the technological route.
Yeah.
And as I've always told people, we're living in the technological age. And it's either you turn with the turn or you get left behind. And you know, one of the things that I've seen, and we've talked about it as well, is that they're getting left behind. So with this step that they're taking now, it will give them a chance to come on board. All right, we understand that some tech is hard to operate. It may baffle you, but to me, it's your ability to learn. You know, your willingness, and as long as they have that level of willingness, I think it can go very far way, because I see tech as a friend and not the enemy.
Yeah, I must say kudos to the Georgetown Cricket Umpires and Scoring Association bringing up this. And in fact, in the GCA matches, there's an app on your phone, Cricket app, and you can use that to get live scores in the matches.
Ball by ball.
Yeah.
Yes, I you know, if I'm on the go and I'm interested in a particular game, I usually go onto the website or the app, and you get ball by ball coverage. You know, that's something that that I particularly like, and most people would agree.
Hey, you know, Brandon, and one of the things I can personally tell you is that we have a lot of tech companies in Guyana
Of course.
that can develop apps based on your specification. You go, you might have to pay money for them, but who doesn't have to pay money?
You might
Who doesn't
have.
have to pay money for something that is going to, in the long run, benefit you? You tell them what you want, what you need, and they will design it to your
And
specification.
this app, you can see it all over the world,
Of
because
course.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
linked with international cricket, regional cricket, women's cricket.
On a more in-depth subtopic of scoring, right? Sean, you would have more information on this because you're a part of the Umpires and Scorers Association. You know, what are some of the benefits of course, we know you're going to be an accredited scorer, but what are some of the perks that come with those?
Well, they will be obviously getting a higher salary when you become accredited, and you can go anywhere in
You
the
can travel
Caribbean.
places.
Yes, and take your certificate, prove that you're an accredited scorer, and you'll most likely be more scorers because of the increase in the salary. The main reason that the scorers don't come out, because the Guyana Cricket Board obviously pays. You can't do nothing for free, but they take a long time to pay.
Okay, and
That's an issue.
yeah, that's a definite issue, and you know, of course, off the top of your head, the solution is to pay the people sooner, you know. But I think sometimes there are bureaucratic processes, and those processes, I'm sure many of you here have experienced it. It takes a little while for those things to come true.
Well, we must see improvements. The GCB recently had their elections, so we're looking for improvements. Think about it. What's cricket without scores?
Yeah, definitely.
And cricket has become commercialized now. It's a business.
Exactly.
So you've got to get with the times.
Exactly.
So you're saying that, you know, to take up some of the slack, maybe getting sponsorship to look after the scores, that could be a solution as
Yes.
well. What are your thoughts on that, Jemima?
Not specifically to look after the scorers, but to get sponsorship in general.
In general,
I feel like, how do I say this? A lot of corporate entities in Guyana do not support sport as much as they need to. Cricket is a major, major thing in Guyana.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the amount of visibility that you can get from cricket is astounding. I don't understand why corporate,
Well-
I mean, obviously GCB has to do their work.
Yeah,
but I don't
definitely.
understand why these businesses aren't going to the GCB and say, hey, we want to sponsor something, we want to put some money in something, and just put our logo somewhere. I don't understand
Yeah,
why
I
it's so
mean,
But
difficult.
shouldn't the GCB
Approach.
go to those sponsors?
That's
They
exactly
have
what
to
I said.
They have to
I
prepare
just
a
said that the
package that is
GCB should.
attractive, right? And I think that's where they're lacking a bit. I mean, look at the regional games that we had here in Guyana. The
Oh,
first
don't
three
talk
rounds,
about
right?
it.
Empty stands.
Empty stands.
Hey, them stands had about 10 people.
All right.
Yeah.
Including
Okay.
our good friend Norman Welch.
Yeah.
Of course, and then
James
Shamar Joseph's family
Yes.
came out in
Always
that game
there.
he
So
played.
like a
And
certain American president.
I just want, I want us to, come on, Sean, I want us to present the
Oh my
facts
All
as they
right,
are.
so
Yes, yes.
that is my issue, right? The marketing aspect of it. I mean, they put out one social media video which was circulating like a
That
week
was subpar also.
which was subpar. I mean, if you were making an effort to attract people back to the game, I mean, the 4-day is the longer format, and for me, that's the ultimate format next
It
to
is.
this.
It is.
You want to attract people to the game, you want people to support it. And there are ways that you can do this. For one, social media, I just spoke about them putting out one video. Social media is a free tool that you can use. There's so many things that you can
Yeah.
do on social media to attract people.
But
You know?
And you can
Michelangelo.
get banners.
Yeah,
The person who makes the banner, have his name on it, his company's name, and they promote the event.
But you see, Sean, we can say that they need their marketing,
A more robust marketing
a
strategy.
more aggressive strategy, their marketing / PR department.
Consistency. That's
Yes.
what we're looking for.
Yes. Look at this, Brandon.
Hmm.
Now I have the regional 4-day tournament coming up. We have now to sit as a team and discuss what are we going to do. We may need to invest this glass of water and this energy drink to get what we want, but are we willing to invest that amount to get the results? No, we might just want to invest this tin alone here and hold back on the water, but you're never going to get the results like that because you need proper video work to be done. You need player features,
Yeah.
give the tournament a really
Yeah,
big
hype the matches before, you know?
Yeah,
And not just
boost
that.
posts, spend money.
Yes.
One of the things that baffles me also with the way the GCB markets tournaments, you have a group of cricket players who are immensely popular.
Yes,
People see
definitely.
their face and
Yeah.
people know who they are.
Yeah.
Why aren't they involved in the marketing process? These players could do short videos, especially for social media. You do short videos, you give all the details, invite people to come out. When people see the players they recognize and say, hey, I just see this person, I think, and this master, they got a game today, they got a game tomorrow. We should go and check it out because XYZ person is playing and, we want to see them. People might want an autograph. Another thing that I believe is that, and this links back to school cricket, to getting the players, not just the players, the children, to really be enthusiastic about it.
Why not arrange
For them to come and sit to the
school bus
games.
full of
That's
children?
exactly
You
what
go through the
Sir
Ministry of
Brian was
Education.
saying At
Yes.
Providence on the Fridays, get the school children to come.
Go through the Ministry of Education, go through
Yes.
the Culture, Youth and Sport Ministry. You just gotta get these children a snack, a cheese roll, and a juice.
When they were
Arrange for the bus to
CPL,
come, bring them down and then watch the games.
When there was CPL, that was done.
Yes,
The
for
Culture
day
Ministry
games.
did that,
For the
Culture,
day
Youth and
games.
Sport.
And another thing too, we have in Guyana, and the whole world has it, it's something we call influencers. We have a
Oh
lot
my
of people.
goodness.
We have a lot of people that are on social media. Now you can tap into that aspect. Let's say Michelangelo, you're an influencer with over 10,000 followers on your TikTok page. Say, reach out to Michelangelo, we work out something, and you
Yes.
come on and say, hey guys, do you know the Guyana Harper Eagles are playing at Providence Stadium
Yes.
from X, Y, and Z? Come out and watch it. And based on what we agree on, that's how you do it. People will see it and people will share it and
And we're
people will
talking
come
about
out.
companies. Many of these same companies have these same guys promoting their brand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that would be easy for them to go on a cricket board app, spend a couple of minutes, and promote the game.
So after regional cricket, there's West Indies cricket, and a lot of discussions surrounding West Indies cricket. Recently, the major solution, the CDW, I believe it's a solution, to sack Andre Kohli and bring Darren Sammy as the all-format head coach. Is that a solution in your opinion?
Well, back up there. Sammy is now the only selector.
Oh, yes.
You've got scouts reporting to manager of the scouts.
Yes.
And then you take that information, he takes the information and goes to Sammy. So that's like a dictatorship.
Oh my goodness.
It's very myopic.
Yeah.
Yes,
It is.
yes, definitely.
It is.
They have scouts for different territories, right? In Guyana here, I believe it's Ramneri Sarwan.
Correct.
Why not have those scouts come up with a pool of players, shortlist it, and from there, you pick the best of the best, the cream of the crop.
Yeah,
But
that-
one
that's
person can't be
being
picking.
selector. Sarwan was a selector,
He was, yes.
but he resigned.
Yeah.
And so some of these scouts have not even played first class cricket.
What level are you? What message are you sending here to the cricketers? I mean, you must be qualified. But let's talk about Darren Sammy and qualification, Sean. What's your take on Darren Sammy?
Well, he says he's going to go. I don't know if he did it yet to get his qualifications upgraded to a level
Level
3 coach. That's fine, but I believe that if a man fixing my car doesn't have a degree, but he's doing it for years and years and can do it better than the man who has a degree, I would hire the man that doesn't have a degree because of his experience
That's correct.
and his efficiency.
Yes.
Same thing with Sammy. Sammy is a very good motivator. He's a good leader. I wouldn't go as far as to say he's a great captain. But he's a great leader.
The man wants to
Sure.
work.
Yes, he wants to
The,
work. It's not
the
by
only
himself.
one, by the way.
The team
Not
won
by
it.
him.
All right.
The
The
team
team
won
won
it.
it.
And he is the person that gets the team to perform for him.
Yes.
Yeah, his charisma to me is infectious,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
It
He's more of an inspirational figure, and I think that is what West Indies needs. But in addition to that, I mean, inspiration can't win alone. You need every other thing to click. And where does Sammy come in with this? What is his expertise? What technical expertise
When
does
he
he
played
have?
Test cricket, he had a set wicket hard right here
at Providence.
Yeah, Providence, yeah.
So, and he's got runs, he's an all-rounder. So back in his days, you don't even need someone who's been exceptionally well at Test cricket.
We've
to
had
be
many
a good
coaches
coach.
that weren't.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But you see, Sean, I would like to disagree with you for a bit. You may say, oh, he's a two-time World Cup winning captain, but that's limited overs at the end of the day. And I don't have a problem with Darren Sammy being the T20 coach
Or the 50
and the
over.
50 over coach. That's limited overs.
Yes.
That's fine. He can do what he has to do. But I think that we need someone else for test, because test match is a different mindset. And I was reminding Michelangelo earlier, I said, do you remember when Sunil Narine was dominated, much younger, when he was playing for the West Indies, when he was dominating in the limited overs, and then he went and played a test match and he was bowling T20 length in a test match and he got 5 wickets for 100 and something runs. I said,
Against
it's
New
the
Zealand.
same principle that applies there.
But I'm sure that Sammy is smart enough to adjust to Test cricket.
But you see, Sean, even when I was checking early during the day, I saw that, I think it's Nepal, they are in the process of trying to rope in Shiv Narayan Chandrapal to replace their current head coach. We have guys like Shiv Narayan Chandrapal, Brian
We
Largo, all
lost
these
Phil Simmons.
names.
He's
lost
gone out to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Who's, to
Who are
my
doing
mind, one of the
exceptionally
better
well on the international
most
stage.
improved teams.
Yeah,
Can
definitely.
we say that all these coaches that all these other countries taken from the West Indies, was it the coach or the West Indies?
Well, it was maybe
Because they're doing
You stumped Sean there.
that we get
You
rid
stumped
of.
Sean there.
But let's look at it from a different perspective. Some may agree that Darren Sammy is the guy to take West Indies cricket forward. Some may say he's not the guy. But we all know that our best regional players, they're not playing test cricket.
No, they're not.
Most of them, if not all of them, the Shimron Hetmeyers, the Nicholas Purans, they're all playing white ball cricket.
Yeah.
So with this move, to have Darren Sammy as the all-format head coach, is it saying that Sammy is the man
To bring them
rope
up?
in all these
Right,
guys
right,
playing
right.
test cricket?
I think that's the
Like that.
idea behind it.
probably.
I think that's the idea because West Indies might feel, Cricket West Indies might feel that Sammy has such a good relationship with the white ball players
Exactly.
that he can entice them back to the test team. But I don't think it's easier said than done. It's not as easy in practice than it is just sitting down and thinking, hey, you know what Sammy could do? Sammy could talk to Puran or talk to Pollard,
Yeah, I mean-
and Pollard could get his man for comeback,
Yeah.
and you know we can get a nice test team. It's not that easy. It actually the players have to want to come back, and the players have to want to play test cricket at a higher level. They have to be committed,
Yeah.
and if they're not, then it's the same old
You
problems
say
again.
that money is a great motivator.
Yes,
of
course it is.
Of
When
course.
I play 3 T20 leagues around the world, I'm making, let's say, 200,000 US. And when I play test cricket, what am I really making?
$5,000.
5,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
Raise the salary.
Yeah, definitely. And,
Motivate them more.
and this is where the numerous franchise leagues, I mean, our best cricketers are playing in almost every single
What
T20
There are way
league.
too many
is that
franchises.
we should limit the players who are on contract. That's why many
That
of
is
them
going to be
don't
so
have a
controversial,
contract.
Sean.
Exactly.
To play
That's-
just 2 tournaments
Mhm.
and play for West Indies.
That is going to be
So
so
you're
controversial.
basically asking them to choose
Yes.
Yes, you
paydays.
could choose
Are
the
you?
biggest
But
tournaments.
are you going to include CPL in those two? Like
Ooh.
CPL is the exception. You could play 2 outside of CPL because remember CPL is sanctioned by CWI, so you
Yes,
can't say,
yes.
oh, you could only play 2 tournaments and CPL is 1.
Right.
You're limiting them completely because not every player will get to play for the IPL.
Yeah.
That's the biggest payday.
Yeah.
So probably exclude
Yeah.
CPL and then you end up at
So you
3
could-
So in
franchise
IPL
tournaments.
and not a
Yeah.
Yeah,
franchise.
3 franchise tournaments a year.
That's the reason. That's one of the main reasons. All these franchise crickets, why West Indies Test team are currently ranked at number 8.
Mhm.
We
Yep.
also saw the ICC. They proposed or they want to
Yeah.
introduce that tier system.
It's going to be a
Yes.
disaster.
And it's going to be a disaster. But for me, I am thinking, I'm looking at it from different perspectives. If you have West Indies playing against the likes of Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Zimbabwe, perhaps the guys will perform more and then they're going to say, you know, if we beat those guys, then we get promoted to play the likes of Australia, England, India. So I am agreeing with this theory.
But
Okay,
Brandon-
so you're saying
No, but Brandon,
Brandon, look at it this way, right? You put them, they're at 8, you put them in tier 2.
Yes.
And they got to play Bangladesh and all these things. It's just like when USA has to go and play Hong Kong
Oh,
and all
That
these
is
spots where
correct.
they beat them bad, but when they reach the West Indies, the England,
you're going to be a tier 2 bully.
It's going to be a poor
Just like we
the
have
tier
regional
system
bullies.
to me, right?
Yeah, but-
the tier system to me, you're putting a ceiling on performances, right? And to be the best, you have to play the best.
I
If you're
understand
playing
that.
with minnows, how are you going to improve your game? So let's say you beat up everybody in tier 2, and then you go to tier 1,
Yeah.
and Australia make a mess. The game, a test match is done in a day and a half.
It's not good development for the
Good.
players.
That's
Yes.
why I don't think the tier system
And
is a
for
good
Clive
thing.
Lloyd, the most arguably the best captain
Captain.
in the world, disagrees with that system.
Disagree.
Yeah, but looking at it from a moral lens also, you have players who say, oh yeah, I have to go and play in tier 2. You are going to discourage players so
much.
badly.
True.
Like,
Yeah,
they're
it's-
gonna say,
it's
we're not good
demoralizing.
enough. We're not good enough for the tier 1. And we have seen last year, we saw it in Australia, West Indies, a very young West Indian team, might I add, they have what it takes to compete against the bigger teams. This West Indies Test team that we have, they have not been together that long. This is not a team that has been competing together for 10 years to say, oh, you know, something is very, very wrong with this team. They can't compete. You're now pulling players into the team. You're taking out, you're subtracting, you're trying to find your way. So in a way, you can't be that hard on them because they're now trying to find themselves as a test team.
And I agree with you 100% because in Australia we won for 27 years we didn't win.
First time, yeah.
When all
27
these
years.
great players were playing, and in Pakistan, we
Again-
won for third For the first time in 34 years.
Let's see if the West Indies can beat Australia later this year in that 3-test match.
Well, that's what I was not going to say.
At home, my
Then
dad.
you can judge.
Let's
Sami.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It will be a perfect
That is going to
time.
be the
Right,
year.
that's a litmus test, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
of course, a lot to unload in this segment,
I
and
know.
we have to pay some bills, so
Yeah.
we're going to go to a commercial break. And remember, we're filming live here in Guyana.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Welcome to Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We offer fine dining, a sports bar, dancing, and special events. Come and enjoy a great Caribbean meal or sit and enjoy the games. Watch for our upcoming special events and live shows. Hibiscus, where you can have a wonderful time with family and friends. We are located at 8344 West Oakland Park Boulevard, Sunrise, Florida. Come out today and enjoy our wonderful atmosphere. Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We are your entertainment center in Sunrise, Florida.
Guyana TV Network.
Welcome back to HOWZAT. We're coming to you live from Guyana TV Network, and this is going to be an interesting segment because we're going to go around the table and everybody's going to give me 3 players that have been outstanding to them. Let's say probably over the last month. We're going to start with that. As we go on further in the show, we're going to do a player of the week where we look at the players who have been outstanding each week. But because we're just starting, we're going to go for the player of the month. So let me hear who wants to start. Or you guys want me to start?
You might as well
You
take the
want
lead.
to
Take
start?
the
Alright.
lead.
So, my first player that I want to highlight is Tevin Imlach. Tevin Imlach has been through, in my personal opinion, he's been through a lot last year. He's been on so many tours with West Indies, and he did not get the opportunity to have his test debut. He finally got it earlier this year in January, and he took it with both hands. He did exceptionally well. Not only did he do that, but he came back, told the Guyana Harpy Eagles team did well right off the bat, a century to save his team in that game against combined campuses and colleges. Tevin Imlach has been exceptional. The second player I want to say, I'm going to go with a woman. I'm going to go with Shemaine Campbell, just for her knock this last week, where she helped her team beat Leeward Islands.
Yeah, she anchored that innings.
Hit 77 runs, but when we look at the context of the game, them 77 runs wasn't even necessary because Leeward got bowled out for, I believe, 52 runs. But Shemaine has been not only good with the bat, but to also keep her team in the mental space, rebounding from that loss against Barbados. It could have been so easy for them to waste away against Jamaica. And then we know what happens to teams when they're on a losing run. So I want to say Shemaine Campbell is my second pick. My third pick, I'm going to go to the under 17 category. I'm going to pick out Ramzan, young Ramzan. I'm not going to pick out Ramzan just because his dad, you know his dad. I'm going to pick out Ramzan because, he wasn't initially, he wasn't going to be in that Demerara
Yeah,
team.
he was going to be
And then
select.
when they played those trial games, he really showed himself approved. He performed well. He came into the Demerara team and also held his own, doing an all-round performance. So those are my 3. And who else wants to take it away, Sean?
Yes, I agree with you 100%. I too picked Imlach. Not only this year, but before he made the West Indies team last year, he scored 200s and 250s and was still the Guyana captain. That's added responsibility. The responsibility of being wicketkeeper also.
True.
So, like you, I agree with that. Like you, I want to pick a female, but not Shemaine Campbell. Rihanna.
That's a great choice.
Yeah, but she's been very consistent so far in this tournament. she's got 111 runs. Only Campbell and Knights has got more runs than her in the regional tournament after 3 games. So she's for me. And easy, Shumar Apple. He's dominated the under 17 tournament.
Yeah.
He's got runs for transport in 2nd division also. And he's playing under 19 also.
Yeah.
And in the under 17 tournament, he's got scores of 151, 59, and 123. Only 3 matches has been played so far.
Heavy scoring, heavy scoring. Well, I will go outside the box. Since we're live and we're out there to the world, I wouldn't go to any Guyanese. No Guyanese. No, not Guyanese. Outside the box thinking.
Anybody?
The veteran Jason Mohammed, the leading run scorer in the regional 4-day tournament. This man looking at a comeback. At the West Indies team. Come on, you scored 2 centuries in the first 2 games, then a double 100. That's runs.
So would you bring back Pomar?
My other player is Carrie Pierre, another Trinidadian.
Yeah, well, I agree with
he's
that.
actually the leading wicket taker in the regional 4-day tournament with 26 wickets. He actually went off the charts for a bit of 2. He was overshadowed by his countryman Akil Hussain. But now Carrie Pierre has returned with a bang. My third player is no surprise. It's John Campbell. The man from Jamrock, actually coming back with 299 runs in this regional 4-day tournament. I am thinking he wants his spot back at the top for the West Indies Test team.
All right, I'll give you that last one.
And I think we need an opener of his ilk
To compliment
Craig. Right.
Craig, y'all compliment.
He's the captain.
Captaincy could change. Anyways, my
Yes.
so
So I'm going to start with a female like Jemima, and my pick is no other than Ashmini Munisar, right? She has been quietly consistent, and she's a female player that I admire a lot. She competed in the under-19 West Indies team, which went to the World Cup, and she was also captain of that team as well, you know. And locally, she's dominant. For the Guyana ladies, she has also put in a few.
And she plays with the male team in Kanji.
She's very intelligent. She handles herself really well in interviews.
So I like Ashmini Munisar, and she has been doing well lately. Now, for my second pick, I also admire Shamar Apple. I was gushing over him earlier in the show. So yes, Apple easily for me. But my third player, right, that I'm looking at is Godkesh Moti. Big fan of Moti's bowling. Bigger fan of his batting. That says it. Timothy, what about you?
For me, I have my 3 are one, Richie Lucknott. I've been singing the Richie Lucknott song since we started talking, because I watched Richie play at, I don't want to say grow up because it might make me sound old, but I watched him play at Metamir and from the first time I saw him play, the way he was able to bowl and the way he was able to bat, I said to myself, this guy has got something that nobody else has. He has his own level of uniqueness. And then in the Harpy Eagles games, we saw him perform. Sad to say they didn't pick him back because somebody else came back into the team. But nevertheless, I'm hoping that he is given another chance because he has far to go. My second player, I'll have to agree with Jemima, it's Stephen Imlach. Who doesn't want to get rid of the current West Indies wicketkeeper right now? I don't know. I'm going to say it plain and simple. I believe this is Imlach's moment. 2025 is the year for Imlach. Maybe that will take the current keeper. It will wake him up a bit and maybe he'll start working harder. But Imlach is taking this serious. He wants it and he's hungry, because if you look at the stats, it says he has played 2 games so far with 217 runs. A high score of 126 and an average of 108.5. So he's hungry and he wants it. Nobody else is not hungry like that. So they got to take second place. And the final one for me, it's Ronaldo Ali Muhammad. He's always showing it in his younger days when he played. Not to say that he's old, but before he was at this stage of his life, he's always showing himself with the bat and with the ball. So to see him continue showing up with bat and ball, that's it for me. Because just the batting alone, it says here that he's averaging 59.66.
Wow.
That's amazing.
He
With the
has
strike
the
rate.
most sixes in the
Yeah.
ongoing
And I
tournament.
think a strike
16.
rate of 104.
Yeah.
So, listen, not all 4-day tests, not all 4-day games, you have to bat slow. I always remind people there was a reason I like Verinder Sehwag.
Oh,
He used to come in and he would give you 50 off 20 something, but you can beat the ball in 4 days as well, and that's why I like that guy.
All right, so there we have it. So if I'm counting up, we have an Imlak here, an Imlak here, and an Imlak there. So I guess we can safely say that Tevin Imlak is our player of the week, the month, whatever it is. He has been especially outstanding at the head of the Guyana Harvey Eagles team. I remember last year when he was given captaincy, and there was a lot of talk about, you know, what will happen to this team after the Leon Johnson era.
Right.
And everybody was like, oh, you know, you got these young guys, and we don't know what they will do, what will their leadership look like. But Imlak really stepped up and has really done well, led them to the championship last year. And we could say they're well on their way to the championship this year.
And
Still have to
Imlak-
pass Trinidad.
And Imlak is one who wants to play local cricket.
Yes.
When he's available, last Saturday, he played. He had to leave the day after to go to Jamaica,
Yeah,
but
he
he
played for
still
DCC.
played, and he made
He
a
made
half
80.
century.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he made
True
80.
Patriot.
Yes.
So, hands down, Tevin Imlak is our player of the week. We're going to go to a commercial break now, but before we get to that, I want to remind people to check out the Pulse Energy Drink. It's being distributed and imported by Edward B.B. Harry and Company. It really gives you the pep. The guys could tell you everybody
Yeah.
here are
Definitely.
completely empty. So check out Edward B.B. Harry and Company for the Pulse Energy Drink. And of course, we'd like to thank Sleeping Hotel for giving us the pleasure of, you know, filming here. We're live from Guyana. We'll take a break right now. Stay with us until we're back.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Welcome to Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We offer fine dining, a sports bar, dancing, and special events. Come and enjoy a great Caribbean meal or sit and enjoy the games. Watch for our upcoming special events and live shows. Hibiscus, where you can have a wonderful time with family and friends.
We're here on HOWZAT, and this segment is all about the fans, you the fans. And in this segment, we field questions from you about any topic, various topics. And we have a particularly interesting question here from one Randy Cornelius. And it has to do with school cricket. And his question is, what are your thoughts on the lack of structured school cricket in the country currently? And are we missing that foundation? Sean, being the veteran of the team, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I remember when I played school cricket, it was organized by the National Sports Council, Rex Collymore, William Jeffrey. They were in Brickdam, next to the police station. And we had school cricket, St. Joseph playing, QC, and so on. Those days are long gone. And I'm very optimistic when I heard Minister Priya Manik Chand, she's the Minister of Education, not sports, and she said that in addition to academics, you've got to have a cultural activity, you've got to have a foreign language, and you've got to have a sport. Most times in the country especially, those players, those students will go for cricket. So that's an encouraging thing, but the government has to support it and the cricket board has to support it also.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the government is doing a lot in terms of cricket especially.
Yes.
Because Charles Ramsden, the honorary sports minister of culture, youth and sport, he was a left-arm spinner, played for Demerara at the youth level, played for Everest, and the president, he's an ardent cricket fan. He actually plays state ball. And so they're going on the right track, but the cricket board now has to take hold of the situation because the ICC frowns on government intervention in cricket, just like they...
Yeah, and that's true for any sport, right? But my thing is that school cricket, structured school cricket, it is very important.
Yeah.
It's actually a nursery where we get to, you could discover new talent. We had the likes of Leon Johnson, Vishal Singh, Stephen Jacobs, all of them competed.
Ramnari Sarwan
as well.
Since he was going to Stelmar's primary school.
Yes.
Under the tutelage of Mr. Headley.
Yeah, so, I think school cricket is necessary and we need that. I mean, currently we have a few programs that are sponsored by Republic Bank. That's
this mostly for primary school.
Mostly for primary kiddies cricket, right? It is an inclusive program at that. It's not competitive. So from on the 13, on the 15, on the 17 levels, those are school age. Secondary school age, and we need tournaments at that level.
Speaking about school cricket, that brought back a lot of memories because in my days, I played the Sir Garfield Sobers tournament. It was a schools tournament in Barbados, and on the 19 tournament. And let me tell you this, Guyana should take a page out of Barbados' book in terms of school cricket because that was so well organized in Barbados. We had team buses. We were kids, and that was the first time we had that opportunity. So if we can mirror the Barbados Cricket Association and the Sir Garfield Sobers tournament in Guyana, that will do so much good for Guyana cricket and West Indies cricket.
And I remember when the Covent Garden became the first team to compete in the Sir Garfield Sobers tournament. I was there to cover it.
Wow.
I'm glad that you brought it up, Brandon, because I remember my time at QC, we had teams going out to Barbados for that tournament. And it was something that you look forward to. We don't have that here in Guyana. And I do remember the GCB president that was just re-elected last Saturday saying that, hey, we're going to focus on some school cricket in our next 4-year plan. But if he doesn't get that done in 2 years, somebody else needs to step in and organize it privately. We have the same thing happening in football. The federation doesn't pay attention to school football, and there's hardly any youth football being played.
Right.
There is an organization, the Petro organization, I believe, that organizes school football. I believe it's under 11, under 14, and under 18. And then they also have an international tournament added to that. That is what cricket needs. We need somebody to step in, organize it, get all the schools in a row, and let's say the winner, you bring the champion team from Barbados, you bring the champion team from Trinidad.
I like that.
And then we supplement our youth cricket program with this privately organized tournament. It needs to happen.
And we need proper coaches. There are hardly any PE teachers now.
That is true.
Because sports is not, sports is on the back burner at school presently. But the first time I ever saw players like Andy Jackman, Derek Kalicharan, Ray Joseph, they came to coach at our school. Now players are paid, the franchise players, that they have the mandate to go to the schools and coach.
I'll tell you what the Ministry of Education does actually for their football program. They have employed national senior football players, and if a school comes to them and say, hey, we need a football coach, they will say, Michelangelo, go to St. Rose's and you can coach their football team. It's now up to Michelangelo to transfer that knowledge. And he gets the team in order. we can have the same for cricket.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we have so many cricketers that probably have not made the Harper Eagles team, haven't made the West Indies team. They're just home playing first division cricket. They're playing second division, a team ball tournament comes and they play. They can't transfer that knowledge.
But some of the players who have not made the team as yet, they're still being paid just to train.
Yeah.
So you can take them to the schools.
All right, guys. Well, to move on to our second question, this one is a bit of, I know we're going to have some conflicts here. This is on the international scene. So, one Karen Joseph asks, who do you think is the best all-format batsman in the world right now? Is it Smith, Kohli, Root, or someone else?
Pressure.
I won't be answering because y'all are.
Oh my
I know.
goodness.
All right, well, I'm going to come out
Just
here
come.
and say the best all-format batsman.
Are we talking ever or are we
No,
talking
we
in
talk
currently?
currently. Yeah, right now.
I have no submission. Because
Okay.
my submission
Goodness.
cannot be submitted.
Exactly. So, I'm going to go with Steve Smith, right? He fell off of white ball cricket for a little while, but he's now back as the captain in the current
Positive reasons
champ-
of the incident.
good the Champions Trophy, and he smashed a century in the recently concluded BBL as well. So well, Test, I don't have to say anything.
It's
He's the
record.
best in Test right now.
Yeah.
So Steve Smith for me takes that title, guys.
Steve Smith.
That's a tough choice. You see, I don't want to agree with you, right? I'm trying to be a bit difficult and find somebody else, but
Yeah.
I might have to agree with you because
It's Smudge.
yes,
Smudge.
It has to be Steve Smith.
It has
Yes,
to be.
it has
But,
to be.
but we can also go with Joe Root. Root is back into the England white ball setup after a long time.
Yeah, but based on England's performance,
Yes, right.
But Root is the standout, guys. Come on. Root made a century after 3 years, 4 years. And we don't have to look at his current test stats because he's right up there with Steve Smith.
Yeah.
Right? So I have to disagree with you guys in terms of
honorable
Steve Smith.
mention.
So we can't go with Virat Kohli anymore because he kept getting out the same way in Australia, but his ODI record, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, I still would go with Steve.
Steve Smith.
Steve
I
Smith.
think we can all agree on Smith.
All right, well, there you have it, guys. The consensus around the table is that Steve Smith, the Smudge,
Yes.
my goat, is the best all-format batsman in the world right now. So-
said they're both and not.
My yes.
Yes.
The goat is Brian Lara, by the way. Anyway, yes.
okay.
So that's a wrap on this segment. We're heading for a commercial break, guys, and remember, this is brought to you by Pulse Energy Drink, imported and distributed by Edward B. Bihari.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Welcome to Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We offer fine dining, a sports bar, dancing, and special events. Come and enjoy a great Caribbean meal or sit and enjoy the games. Watch for our upcoming special events and live shows. Hibiscus, where you can have a wonderful time with family and friends. We are located at 8344 West Oakland Park Boulevard, Sunrise, Florida. Come out today and enjoy our wonderful atmosphere. Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We are your entertainment center in Sunrise, Florida.
Welcome back to How's That? This is our final segment. Remember that we're filming here in beautiful Guyana, over the 83,000 square miles of this wonderful country. And we're pleased to be accommodated by Clifton Bacchus and his hard-working crew here at Sleeping International Hotel. So we say kudos to you, Clifton. And also, we recap now what we did during this program. This is our launch of our inaugural program. We focused on the 19 tournaments, the intercounty on the 15, the on the 17 local tournament, the Mayor's Cup. We also spoke about the regional tournament returning tomorrow, today, in Jamaica, Guyana playing. And then we also spoke about the women's cricket in St. Kitts. We also spoke about the Champions Trophy. So we had a lot to talk about. We also went and talked about schools cricket and all of these things. So how did the program go?
I think it was a well-balanced show. We touched on all bases. While we highlighted some of the problems in Guyana and West Indies cricket, we brought possible solutions to the table. And I think that's what this show is about, and it's also for the fans. What do you think, Jemani?
Of course, the fans got in because they had some interesting questions which we were able to answer, and I'm very, very surprised that we were able to come to a consensus for a lot of things. Player of the week, the best all-format batsman right now. I'm very surprised that you guys behaved. That's very nice. Do this to the rest of the show.
Yes, definitely. We also had a consensus that Steve Smith is the best in the world. Timothy. This show, it was a pleasure being here with you guys, and I honestly I am looking forward to our upcoming episodes. Remember, we're here weekly at 8 p.m. We're here to dissect the game locally, internationally, and regionally. And of course, we want to get you, the fans, involved. And you can get involved by commenting under our posts. If you want to highlight an issue or ask questions, or you can provide a topic that we can discuss. You can also send voice notes and WhatsApp messages or text, which is SMS. You can send those thoughts, questions, or topics to 646-1535. Sean?
Yeah, I want to say congratulations again to the president of the Guyana Cricket Board, Bisunda El Singh. Last Saturday, he emerged as president unopposed again, and to the GCB, hoping now they got 4 years.
Another 4 years.
Extended the term.
Yes.
And we're hoping to see more progress, more press releases, more press conferences,
more stringent marketing efforts.
more
visibility,
stringent marketing, and more progress with cricket development in Guyana. So we've had a good program so far. This is the first week. Next week Wednesday, every week Wednesday. Look forward to this program on Guyana TV. And we wrap up now with the sponsors. You can't have a program without sponsors.
Definitely.
And we've got lovely drinks here too. That's a benefit. Edward B. Bihari sponsors Pulse, the imports and the distributor of imports is Edward B. Bihari, of course, again to the Sleeping Hotel, giving us this accommodation to film this program. I want to say good evening to everybody.
All right, until next time.
Yeah.